I have a bag of Cheetos and 2 Propel waters. And that's
I'm not sure that would be what they would suggest you eat.
I'm just not hungry. But I'm just saying, I'm not
Consult on what you should eat when
I'm
you're
just saying, I'm just not hungry. You know?
No, yeah, that's not.
Or if you eat, you feel like you ate a turkey dinner.
Yeah.
And it's like you're sitting
A bowl of oatmeal or something.
I had lost 23 pounds last month. So
there 6 o'clock.
We are live. We are live.
I'd like to open this finance meeting. Call to order, please.
Okay.
At 6 o'clock.
roll call.
Oh, roll call, sorry.
Reedy,
Present.
Cosgray, Phillips.
Here.
And with us, we have Councilmember Debbie Schaffner, Rick Foreman, Mayor Rick Ellis, Chief Brett Rogers, Mr. Nyheiser. Is it Matt or Mike? Matt, okay. Mr. Matt Nyheiser and the fiscal officer, Brian Bennett. Can I have approval of the minutes of June 10th, please?
The meeting minutes. Motion we approve the minutes recorded.
I guess we all need to turn our mics on.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Cosgray,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
and
Do we
Reedy.
have any business?
Reedy. Reedy. Yay or nay?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
No
We do not
visitor.
have any visitors. So the goals 2024 is keep spending the appropriations. Old business, we have none. New business, we're reviewing monthly financials. Thank you.
Okay. So last month, we ended up with a bank and book balance of $2,304,810.28. That was our reconciled balance. And page 2 is the breakout of the accounts, how much was in the primary checking, how much was in Star Ohio last month. Page 3 is, of course, the outstanding checks. And page 4 is the outstanding receipts. So that's, I know I repeat myself every month, but that's all right. That's really all there is to the reconciliation, unless you have any questions. Go ahead and ask. Oh. Okay, so what happened there was on May 28th, I wrote a check for $129,000 for the 5th payment on the Washington Street project. I did it via certified mail. And on June, what day was that? The 18th, I got a phone call from BK Layer saying they haven't got the check yet. I looked it up on the website, USPS. It was still in Cleveland, and they wanted to pay some bills. So I voided the check and reissued it. They finally got that check on July 1st.
Yeah, I saw it further down.
Because I got the card back that they got. She sent me an email and said, and took a photo and said, received today. It was July 1st. And I mailed it on May 28th.
2 weeks has become commonplace for us.
Well, come to find out from Postmaster, the federal government, their wisdom, has decided to do away with their contract for trucking services to do it in-house. Well, they don't have enough people to do it, so it stayed in Columbus for 2 weeks before it got to Cleveland, and stayed there another 2 weeks before they finally got delivered, getting processed.
That's a problem for.
And then I wrote her another check like right after that, and I overnighted that one, which cost $30. Because we're talking $100,000 check. I don't want this thing to get lost.
Right.
She got that the day she got that before. No, she had someone pick up that check. I remailed that the 18th, of course, 19th to Juneteenth. They got that check on the 19th. So that's why. So you see a void, but I reissued it. Okay, what those are is I submitted invoices to the school to reimburse us. So I undid those checks by reimbursing us for the reimbursements. That's what those are.
We asked you to get a check from the school
Mhm.
to us.
They paid for the grinder pump.
Yeah, I picked it up. That's the only thing they saw.
Yeah, that's what that is, covalent. What those are is when the school reimburses, I apply those against those checks. That basically frees up that money. But I had to have it budgeted. I mean, you must be in the payment listing. Well, we wrote 606,000 last month checks. OWDA, that's our water, that's our sewer plant payment twice a year. We've got 4 years left on that. 4 years.
So, yeah.
July of 2028.
Yeah.
It won't be like that one.
It won't be like that one. It'll be, let's see, it was 5 million back then. Probably 3 times higher, more expensive. So that's what those negative payments are.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else on the bank reconciliation? Payment 15.
You see Spires paving 45,000 for various streets. You'll see Cots Concrete for the sidewalks 24,750. I still have yet to be invoiced for Washington Street paving. I have not been invoiced for that yet. Just let you know.
We wanted that anyway, right?
Yes and no. I mean, yes. I mean,
I'm sure
usually,
you're gonna get it.
I'm sure I'll get a bill. I don't think they're going to do it for 200,000 without getting paid.
That's what they said.
They didn't donate it. Oh, that's it. It's in the mail.
Checks in the mail.
It's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I was kidding you not. It was in Cleveland. And I went over there. I said, why is it still in Cleveland? It's been there for 2 weeks. It's being processed today. I'm like, really? Okay.
Okay,
Moving on. Metrics. $2,522 in interest last month for Star Ohio. Believe it or not, let you know, we actually get more money from Fairfield National, or Park National, sorry. They moved us into a new checking account, and they said we'd probably get better interest, and we have been right now. I mean, about $300 more, but other than that. So whatever you see Star Ohio, what it is, add $300 or $400. That's what we're getting from Park National. $78,205 from Rita last month. We went above the curve. Now we're about 2% short from last year, which is okay. Appropriation status. Let's see what percentage should be. Oh, 50%. Duh. As you can see, we're under 50% on the major funds, and we're doing well on the revenue side for the general fund. All other revenues 107% from compared to last year. That's because we received a check for the police cruiser that got totaled. They said, "Am I allowed to send them the title?" Okay. I didn't. I saw. Yeah, the check cleared.
That's how that works. Well, that's what I told them when they asked for a copy. I said, then we get the money.
Okay, well, then I'll work on that tomorrow.
any appropriations?
50%. We're still 1.8% high on street lighting. It is what it is. You can just see right there, we're below 50%. Overall in those funds.
Any questions on the appropriations? I have approval of the financial reports. Have a second? Roll call?
Cosgray, Phillips,
Yes.
Reedy.
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda is 2024-21.
This came out of service, they appropriated $100,000 in the sewer fund. I tacked on an additional 10,000 for the bicentennial commission fund. The 10,000, I just threw a figure out there. I didn't know what to put. I know we're anticipating more donations. Right now, there's like $2,000 in that fund.
Did you get the money from Park National?
No, not yet. That's my fault.
Okay.
I know the mayor was talking
Yeah, but I have 2 meetings next week with,
for more donations,
for
so
a couple of big ones, man. I'm hoping.
I-
big ones, yeah.
I just threw 10,000 out there. I don't know who else.
Well, let's see where we end up next week, and then the next meeting, I hope I'm able to tell you guys.
I first said 5,000, but then I thought, well, we get more, we spend more. I don't want to come back to you right away for increases, so I just threw 10,000 out there.
So we're not appropriating that, we're just anticipating.
No, we're appropriating that money.
But we're not spending it. I got you. Well, like I
I
said,
think it's a little high, but
I think we'll be fine on that.
I mean, if we only get 8,000 in donations, we can only spend 8,000, but we got 10,000 appropriated. That's how that goes. So that's the only difference. We can't spend more than what's in that fund. Right now, there's like $2,000 in there, or whatever it was I told you.
Yeah,
And you said you had a bill. That's why I had to get
already had my credit card, yeah,
how much?
it's like 22.90.
But you're waiting on a check from Park National for 25.
Yeah, I apologize. I just have been crazy busy. the last few weeks.
Well, if you want reimbursed, I'm going to need some more donations because I don't have enough to cover it right now.
I know.
Well, hopefully I bring back a couple of decent checks next week, so.
I know this came out of service, but I just threw this on there too.
And there will be, I've got $1,000 already, but $5,000 in brick.
You're gonna sell a bunch of bricks and stuff. so don't tell them.
We're gonna, the renovation is, so they're gonna share it with us.
You're gonna sell just tell them once people know about that, they're gonna sell a bunch of bricks.
so my question is, what do we do with these checks?
Hmm?
Do we send it on to council like this?
it's already on the agenda.
Do what?
It's already on the agenda for tonight, for first reading.
Mhm.
For the only reading, isn't it?
First reading.
Yeah, first reading. So, if you need a sponsor coming out of finance. I don't know if that you sponsor that with service. 100,000, I sponsor that service. If this. I'll sponsor that finance.
Okay. And sponsor, and you're making a motion to send it to council? Cosgray?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Reedy?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I got a couple notes over here. I got, ABC was in about the mic situation here. And, they can have, we got. We can get. Well, for another $950, we can get some more mics to put in here. Because that might help with the whole thing. He says that Dig found had 2 mics. We have ordered another controller. The new control, it comes with a new controller and stuff. So that may help. I didn't know what council wanted to do with this. If you want me to give them the okay, I told them to discuss it tonight.
people that watch the, news, I mean, that's the biggest complaint I hear is I can't hear everybody.
Very upset.
I just feel like we should spend the money if it helps for people to get more information, then we should do it. But I guess we'll take that to council. Is that okay?
I'm just bringing it up in finance because he gave me a quote for $950.
Can we approve that? I mean, and then, you know,
But all I need is a go ahead. It's still within appropriations.
I just don't do that. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, they have to.
Does everybody agree with that?
I do. Yes, well, I mean, not in mind.
Yeah, that's the biggest complaint I hear.
So let's do it.
Supposed to be a public hearing. and-
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It's either do it or don't do this at all. you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I just-
They need to have a hearing.
Okay, there you go, Brian. There you go, Brian. Like that check.
Okay, I'm not gonna write, I'll just sign the quote and mail it back to him and say, there you go. Or I should say email, not mail. It might get there a little quicker.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? You said you had two?
Yeah, that's a question for the mayor. I know we traded in the truck.
Yeah.
And bought another for $3,200.
Mhm.
As of last Wednesday, the Coughlin has still have not paid on that truck. Because that payment is due this week.
Yeah, I'll call Dennis. I'll call him when we get out of our council.
And the quote that I give you was the quote that day. It keeps going up every day.
They'll take care of it. If they gotta run a check there, they will. That happens in dealerships sometimes. So what he's talking about is we took the truck that was worth $70,000 or $58,000 that we only owed 28. We bought a truck for 32,000. So it cost us basically 3,200, and then and these are round numbers, Brian.
Yes, that's right. You're fine.
But then we paid off a $25,000 debt. And we got a truck for 3,200, and it's a truck that they've used almost every day since they had it. So it was kind of a win-win situation.
I was just letting you know that
Yeah, no.
as of
I'm glad
last
you did.
Wednesday, when I called, because I had to make the one truck payment. I got another one.
Because they need to pay it off. And a lot of times dealerships will either hand deliver the check or overnight the check or whatever. But I'll make sure that happens tomorrow.
They didn't
They-
certify. I hope they didn't certify it. Jeez.
They did. Oh, certified mail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. No, generally it's overnight. Generally they get overnight. So, yes.
Okay.
Any other business for finance? Next meeting is scheduled for the second Monday in August, August 12th at 6 p.m. Meeting adjourned.
6:17. Looks like 6:17.
He's a track star.
That's right.
Picking up
Trying to be.
He's a track star.
You want some pearls?
No, 3 weeks ago, I was walking track until my wife.
Oh, no.
I love that story.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Rode a big time.
If the joiners can do it, I can do it.
It was a short one too, and the ones I used to do in junior high. And I did a trial run. I looked at my wife and said, yeah, I can do it.
We're not in junior high.
I know.
You don't see the videos.
Yeah, let's put that.
Actually,
What was the day? I can check.
well, you can go check all you want.
Yeah.
My wife and kid have a video of
Oh, how much do they want?
it. Mm,
You ready?
yes.
All right, we'll call the rules committee to order at 6:17 p.m. We have
Schaffner,
present.
Foreman, here, McCreary.
Present.
We also have
Hope you know shorthand.
councilmembers Wade.
They're gonna help take notes.
Mayor Ellis,
Chief Rogers.
Chief Rick Rogers, I'm sorry, I forgot your name again already.
That's right, Matt Nyhus.
Matt Nyheiser. And fiscal officer,
Oh, my nameplate's out. Oops.
do I have a motion to approve the minutes of June 10th?
Ford makes a motion to approve the minutes.
Second time.
Visitor,
Roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes. We have no visitors, let me see. So, 2024 goals, Village Island are tabled for the moment. Some other things here. Old business, home businesses, what's
Jeff's preparing the legislation. I read through last month's minutes and I found it. I said to him,
Okay.
he's working on it. He's just not finished yet, but
Okay,
he's
that's
preparing
all right.
legislation on that.
Okay, so that won't be for tonight then, or?
No,
Okay.
no.
And then the rules of council, did anybody?
I read through them
I
from
read
top to
them.
bottom. I didn't see anything. that-
Yeah, and I didn't see anything specific.
I think that, Darla and I did a stand-up job last year.
We did.
I didn't see anything that stood out at me. So I think they can stand the way they are. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah, does any action need to be taken for that?
I was gonna say, do they, you have to,
No.
I think you only have to, if you amend it.
Yeah, you had, yeah.
So we're leaving them alone, nothing needs to happen. I'm good for it.
Just looking back on the minutes too from last time.
Other than that, I had nothing else on the
Were
agenda.
the utility vehicles, are those prepared for tonight?
This is the third reading tonight.
Your third reading is tonight, so we can adopt it tonight. It wouldn't be by emergency if we would not.
So how come the third reading if we only?
Well, we've had two readings. It was
I
brought,
guess so.
it was brought
We
forth.
tried to pass it by emergency last 2 weeks ago and it didn't pass, but it can pass with a simple majority.
All right, well, any new business, any more old business, anybody wants to discuss any new business?
The ponds, I know that you were discussing, it's just dead. Okay. Dead in the water. Okay.
Oh, no pun intended.
yeah, that's you.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Well,
Preparing this to adjourn.
6:20.
1 second.
All in favor? Aye.
Congratulations.
For the record?
Well,
on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Cosgray. Rick, there's the batteries right there. Foreman. Here. McCreary.
Here.
Phillips.
Here.
Reedy.
Present.
Schaffner.
Present.
Can we get approval of the minutes of June 24th?
I'll make some motion to approve the minutes as written.
3 seconds.
Roll call,
Discussion.
all discussion, I apologize.
I do have one question about
Yes.
Oh, God.
in there about the comments made about Randy Kammer
Mm-hmm.
speak against the ordinance that allows the vehicles.
No, he was speaking for them. Yes. He has it.
So, okay, so it was hard to hear.
It says it was present to speak against the ordinance.
Yeah, we just need to change that and get
Yes, we're there.
to speak for.
Well, they didn't really know whether they were for it against it because they didn't
Okay, so-
understand it.
Okay, so,
It was.
It was.
confusing.
so, where we put? He was present, was,
Speaking in favor of allowing them would be more clear than
Yeah,
what.
but he doesn't want
To
to
speak regarding the ordinance.
Yeah, maybe not define whether he was for or against because
He needed clarity.
he was basically.
Was present.
giving his-
he was present regarding.
Yeah, something like that. And there's another one further down about that too, that another person.
Regarding or,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think everything else is okay.
Jim Harold Sharp,
Yeah.
I'll change them all to
Okay. On the record.
not against
To ride their little motor around town.
So-
regarding.
I will change my motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Just those two areas?
I know that for a fact.
That was
Okay.
a good catch because they were here technically to speak against. But once we clarified, yeah, that's good.
Okay, so Foreman makes motion to amend the minutes.
Yes.
I was very second.
Okay,
Now do I need a roll call?
Yes.
Roll call on the amendment?
Foreman,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
and then we need
Now motion to approve.
Yes.
Yes.
motion to approve.
Or makes a motion to approve.
3 seconds.
Roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay, approval of the agenda.
Or makes a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Roll call.
Okay. I'll put Phillips down. Let's see, Foreman,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Cosgray.
Yes.
Okay, we're to visitors. Steve, Mr. Kenny, would you like to say something?
Yes. My name's Steve Kenny from the east side outside of town. Keep it legal.
It's on your mic.
What do I gotta do?
It's on your mic.
Start over again?
No, you don't have to start over.
Anyway, the east side water project that was done, the drainage, Boulder Road, that east side thing. Basically the report seems like it's done a lot of good. I drained, June 20th, we bush hogged the 12 acres or so of what we could. I've been spraying until just a little bit ago, trying to kill weeds. But that part's good. Now, we had that rain Wednesday night, we were down at Outer Belt playing music bingo, came home, the rain was stopped. And we drove up 37 and came in, and I got pictures on my phone. The bowling alley, bad, and that house beside it, I don't know their name. The people had 30 inches of water in the basement twice. It was covered.
And this was
Wednesday night.
and that is, on a township.
That is Walnut Township. That's correct. Which I am too. Now, I went out in the golf cart, see what it was like out in the back field, and there was water sitting and puddled up and around the catch basin. Got out there, went to another catch basin behind my barn, and I have a grate, and I can see down in there. The pipe was water was about that far from the top of the ground, so it tells me the water level everywhere. I forgot to go out on Thursday. We were outside working in the barn, but I went out Thursday. Didn't go out Thursday. Friday I went out, looked at the drain, it was empty. Well, it was slow water.
Right.
So that part's working. Now, the people there east of me still have a problem. And part of that, they're tied into my pipe. I don't know. I talked to Brian, my next door neighbor, yesterday or last night, but I don't know what's going to be done about the other people, and I know none of this is your problem.
Has anybody went to Walnut Township meeting? I'm just curious. The people that live in that house?
But it's been a while ago, and the only thing they were responsible for would have been there at Boulder Road. Between Roach
Jack
and
is just between the Roach and Hannah.
Hannah.
Transitions from village to township.
But what I'm saying,
We fixed it.
yeah, we fixed our part. But what I'm saying is they're responsible for those two houses.
I don't know. I talked to the county a long time ago. County, it was an Acres County ditch, but they don't have anything to do with it anymore.
Who does? Did they tell you?
The landowner. And he says, you can't do anything. The only way, anything, if you have somebody that says, no, I don't want to fix it, and we've already had that, as you all know, you can put up something and they'll go in and they'll hire somebody and do it all, and they're going to assess everybody with taxes. So
they will assess your taxes.
that's the way you do it if people do not agree to doing something.
The house you speak of is one of those new builds?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three or four.
Yeah.
there's 3 new builds east of me. The one across the road that's had the flooded basement twice.
This is gonna be close to the land they want to annex, right?
It's, yeah, I mean, you guys got it under control. You got sewer there. You can annex them as soon as you want. You can't fight, from what I've understood.
Well, they can fight it.
No,
They have
annexation agreements.
Oh, they have agreement.
Once they do that,
Once they're contiguous, they have to.
yeah. And then Kelly Williams, who I've never spoke to on time, but graduated with his brother. He lives on this side. He's had problems. I mean, he just goes, what I heard from his brother was, wish he'd never bought there. And then Van Olmsig lives across, and I don't know how bad that was. I didn't even look Wednesday to see what they got. So the next issue comes in. There's a new house going to be going in right there. And it's like, I feel bad for them.
So when you say new house, so I'm going out to 56 and go out of the corporation limits, there's a new house, then there's that old farmhouse, and then there's another new house.
Prior to the first new house, that's property's been bought.
Now, I was just out there.
Has an S on
There's
it.
there's a little sign out there.
I'll drive out there.
I don't even know, but that's sold. You know, the other thing that comes around, and I brought this up at one of my township meeting, it's been years ago. And that had to do with Landis's acquisition of the Acres farm across the street from the 79 acres. So I'm not against anybody doing anything, but there's a problem. And if you build all these houses, they're gonna go do, I said, I don't know, there's some pumps are going, that other guy.
There's going to be a lift
When
station.
you do development like that,
Yeah.
stormwater management is a requirement.
100%.
So they're not gonna discharge more, they will probably improve the problem,
Yeah.
not worsen the problem.
No, I think that would be fixed.
Because they are required to put in detention ponds.
Who is?
And courts.
Oh, if they do a big development.
Any
Put that guy out there.
You can build one-off houses, and there's no requirement.
That guy by the bowling alley and the bowling
Yeah,
alley.
those houses had no requirements. But if a developer goes in on that farm, there are very stringent requirements.
And that never flooded like that before, that I ever, and it's like how houses go. So as most of you know, or many of you may know, there's another project possibly coming with a house and it was turned down once before and they basically said, oh, plan on 3 houses. I don't know what it is right now, but a plan doesn't mean nothing. I can say, oh, I plan on doing 2 and I'm gonna do 20. So that comes up, that's behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Sure was. Yeah, I don't think, he's coming, there's a variance for a driveway.
They had that before and it was turned down. And that's going again. And all I know, he said he planned on 3 houses, but any more houses, what's it gonna do to our drainage? And gonna mess, I don't know. And
1 or 2 or 3 houses will add the front.
so I'm worried about that coming up. But anyway, the project worked on Holden Road.
And here's what I'm gonna tell you about that. And Kenny will, the zoning and planning commission will add that we can't go back to, but we can't go backwards. It took that long to get that fixed. Whatever happens there is gonna have to be done at his expense. And it's gonna have to be done right, because that's all I heard about was back there. And then we're not done with that project yet, because from where Brian's property is, the rest of the way down, Tim's come up with another plan to finish that project. So I think that'll even help, at least from where you live. I don't know how many houses are.
Well, it's Liebers and myself, and maybe,
And the empty lot, and then
Further up,
But-
further north on Holden Road.
Right.
but I guess we're just waiting on the easements now.
right, we're waiting on easements, but our plan is to complete that project, which will help, which will just complete that whole thing. And when we get the easements, it's not gonna be like we want to do it this year. So, and I can assure you that anything that's behind you, that's gonna be, we'll address that. So we're not gonna go into that with a problem.
There's been a big, improvement.
Good.
I went from an F to an A. I mean,
That was the first time I've heard that.
We should allow any more private septic built down. I don't know why private septic's been allowed out there, but clearly it doesn't work.
Right.
It's been underwater for 10 years.
Right.
And they want to save the cost of extending the sanitary. And that's the problem. I think that's a good by ORC. Everybody out there is on private septic. They're on municipal water, private septic, flooded with spit. And that was where the rules were bent, and that needs to stop.
Well, not all of them.
Okay.
But,
You-
yeah, from probably
From Owen Keller out
Newton.
for sure.
Well, probably Newton's in town, toward town, they're all under. Aren't you under
What's that?
your septic system?
I'm in septic system. I have a
I
septic.
mean,
You're
your
private.
leach bed,
Huh? I have leach bed.
is it underwater?
It was.
Owen Keller's the last one. Owen Keller's old house is the last one.
Correct.
Municipal
Everybody on this side of the street
is on private septic.
is private septic, which I have
Oh,
mine.
know.
I have mine inspected every 6 months. So
Yeah.
But I assure you, anything is done back there, it's gonna be done.
Correct.
We're not going backwards.
anyway, that's,
Yes.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for some
Thank you.
positive feedback. All right, so that is. So, all I have really is, gosh, that was thank you again, Steve. That was the first time. The only, a couple things, as I told Debbie, I have a meeting with, I thought it was 2, but it's 3 down at the people that are possibly gonna donate to Bicentennial Park, so I'll just let you know that now, and then 2 of the meetings are next week, the next meeting, and I think we can get a lot of that covered out of that. One guy in particular, Brad, the guy that helped us with is very interested in talking to me about assisting. So, Brad, I think that he owns, yeah. The only other thing I was gonna talk about was the truck. We already went over the truck, about buying the truck. We paid off $25,000 in debt. Really, that's the only things are, I had a question for you, Brian. How are things going at the pool? I'm assuming they're going better than those years past.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw today, because I update that, I keep a spreadsheet on receipts on that every day, and I think today we sold like 25,000 memberships this year. That's like already 5,000 more than we've ever gotten. I think
Contributed to success, much of the success of that, to the guy that's managing it. I will tell you that.
Yeah, he's. I don't have. I thank God he's there, because he runs the pool Facebook page. He answers people's questions, and it's just he's a godsend.
Yes, I agree with you, because Tim even said he just doesn't have to worry about it. So as far as the projects we have going on around town, now that the super sucker truck is fixed, we'll start going and addressing some of these drainage problems, because it's summer. I did have a church come last week. They put at the Johnson's Park, there's now doggy poop bags over there. And they're gonna put them up at Basel eventually as well. They went over to the land that was bought on the other side of the pool, when they started cleaning up all the brush. And by the festival, I want to have that just look nice. I just pull back through there.
Church donated poop bag.
Oh, I think that's all I got. The only other thing that I am going to tell you guys, the last couple of weeks I've been out to Alt Park. I just don't think, and maybe some of you do, I don't think anybody, Brett does, realizes how much that facility gets used. It is unbelievable. So next year, I am going to look for some funding and some help to do some things out there. The baseball, they're all trying to use some of their money to do some of the improvements and stuff out there. But I just want that to be and the only other thing that all the organizations have agreed is this year they didn't do a good job of their scheduling their events, because at one point there was 30 soccer teams and 20 baseball teams out there on the same weekend. They've all decided they're going to get that scheduling, but we've got to do whatever we can to make that park. Just so many people are using it. And then I will tell you, the week after the festival, there is a organization that is coming in, and they're going to use all the diamonds out there and all the diamonds at Johnson Park for a tournament that's going to generate some good funds for the organizations. And I think it's going to generate some funds for the village as far as people eating at restaurants and stuff like that. With that said, the only other thing that I'm going to say is, as far as the D.R. Horton project goes, which is to the north of town, we're going to talk about that at our meeting this Thursday, zoning. I don't know if many of you heard about the meeting that we had, the public meeting. It was interesting. I would say that out of the 67 people that were there, probably, I know for a fact that 7 or 8 of the people weren't even from Baltimore. They got up and spoke, a couple of them, which I didn't understand that at all. There was some pretty loud talking, and I kind of tried to cap it off, but it was a small percentage of our village, and I have gotten a tremendous amount of feedback from people saying, look, if we do this responsibly and this goes well, we need this. And an overwhelming amount of business owners are saying, and I mean small business owners, if we're going to have business in this town, we're going to have to we're going to have to bring something here. So, and we're going to go to an executive session. I have some other things to discuss about road for Baltimore, but I'm excited about that. I have a guy coming, a meeting at, next week from the county engineering, because they said they did a road. That was one of the big concerns in that meeting, was the traffic. And the guy from the county is going to meet me out there and go over his traffic study that he did and show me what it is. Also, there's 2 neighbors directly across from the entrance it's going to be, and I'm going to meet with them this week to talk to them. And I personally answer questions to them, because they're going to be the ones most directly affected. So that's where we're at on that. Matt is here. Matt will be starting next Monday, and we're going to throw him right in the fire. So as soon as he gets started, our next council meeting, he'll have his own report for that. And I'm glad, can't tell you how glad I am.
Welcome.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
So, with that, I will turn it over to our fiscal officer for his report.
Well, I got nothing else to add to that except, talking about the pool. The cash register we bought last year and broke. So we had to order a new cash register,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
They've been using tally, they've been keeping their own tally sheets on hand.
He's organized.
I mean,
Have we hired him for next year yet?
well,
No.
he's still thinking about it.
he's still thinking about it.
But he's doing, I'm telling you, I'm not saying we're ever gonna make any money out of there, but the work that Tim and the guys did and the money that we used the grant to improve it over the pool, it does look nice too.
It does.
We still have some of that grant money that I intend on using after the pool closes for some different flooring things and some bathroom issues over there. That was the other thing that other church did. One of the big things was, when the pool opened, people were angry because they couldn't carry food in there, which, after COVID, you carried food in there because there was no choice. But before that, you couldn't. The church brought us 3 very nice picnic tables that are over there. So people bring their food and you walk right out the gate, sit at a nice picnic table and go right back in. So I'm gonna have Kelly post. I have the names of the churches and the volunteers, but it was huge, some of the stuff. And they also painted the swim team there's a shed over there. They painted the shed for the swim team. That's all I have to say. So Brian has nothing else. We will leave the next report to the solicitor.
A couple things. One new piece of legislation, appropriation ordinance on the agenda for first reading. Brian, does that need passed this evening?
That's up to them. Well, it probably would if I have to reimburse Ms. Schaffner for something, it would need passed.
And 3 pieces of legislation, all resolutions on for second reading. The first is a special use agreement for the Baltimore Festival Committee. Technically, that can go to a third reading, but you're cutting it kind of close because our next council meeting is the 22nd, and they would like to start their setup a few days after that. So for comfort purposes, they would probably much rather see this resolution passed this evening than to be passed at a third reading. And then the services resolution for the 99.5 acre tract east of the village, that can go to a third reading. That doesn't need to be passed this evening. Same with the third resolution on for a second reading to select Mayor Jason Henderson of Pleasantville, Ohio to the county 911 program review committee. Again, I've heard nothing indicating that there's any need for emergency adoption of that resolution. And then 3 pieces of legislation on for third reading. The one is authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to contract with Ford Motor Credit Company for the financing of the 2 new police vehicles. Second one is to amend the traffic code to authorize the operation of low-speed vehicles, underspeed vehicles, utility vehicles, and mini trucks in the village. And then the third and final piece of legislation is the ordinance to amend the 2024 appropriations ordinance, and that's on for a third reading. I would ask for a motion to go into a brief executive session after regular business to discuss both land acquisition and potential litigation issues. And I would ask council for consideration of a motion to adopt the county house numbering system for the Keller annexation. That applies just to that property. That allows the annexation process to move forward. The documents have been submitted, but they won't be processed until until council approves that county house numbering system, and it's still going to take months for the normal annexation process to take place. At least 3 months, if not longer. So, and that's all I have.
Okay. All right, let's go to committee reports. Finance committee.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we had a finance committee meeting tonight. Everything is within operations, and our next meeting is August
12th at 6.
Okay, service committee.
Service did not meet today. Our next service meeting is July 22nd at 6 p.m.
For safety.
Safety did not meet. Our next meeting is July 22nd, 6:30.
Okay, can you have the rules?
We did meet tonight. We reviewed the rules of council and determined that everything was fine. That was already written, so we did not need to amend it. Our next meeting will be August 12th at 6:30 or immediately following the finance committee meeting.
All right, moving on to public safety reports. Can we get a report from the chief?
Yes, rather than just type out things like the little notes I usually do, do a little different this time, other than we did have another canine interdiction last week, and got some more drugs off the street, so that's a good thing. But I passed out the report from the speed signs, just to give you an idea of some things as you know, we were talking about briefly before the meeting that, you know, in the time period, which was like 5/27 to 6/30 dates, that, you know, 33,000 cars came from the north into town. So you can figure, I would say that's probably a good average for going out most likely as well, because a lot of those cars are the people going out in the morning and coming back in the afternoon. So, but this gives you an idea of what our speeds kind of do. As you can see, the one up, but even though it says Baltimore Road Northwest, that's actually the one at Ace. You know, our average speed there's, you know, 36 mile per hour. So, that's you can, I'm going to go through one of these. You can read them, and if you have a question, you can ask about them. But then if we move to when we move the South Mill Street sign down here, the average speed there is 19 miles an hour. So if anybody should ask you about speed problems on Mill Street, you can say average speed 19 miles an hour. The average speed is 19 miles per hour and 25/7. So and these signs, we check them more just to see when we're driving, because we can turn on our radar in the car, which tells us our speed using the same technology that the sign uses, and it's always right on or within 1 mile an hour. So the signs, if anybody's already accurate, they are deadly accurate. I mean, they're like, if you got a digital speedometer in your car, you've probably seen that. They're
Fantastic.
yes,
Spot on.
yeah.
Oh, that's good. So that's good that we can move them around, and we can, if somebody said something, we can say, hey, here's what the average speed was. Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to show you some of the things we can get from those signs, and kind of show you what they do, and
I like this.
you know, if they work. But it's interesting if nothing else.
I will note that I've heard, and maybe you guys have too, there's a lot more visibility of the police in town. Some really embrace it.
100%.
Others.
Yeah.
I get nervous when I do from work.
Yeah.
No, I have heard the same thing. A lot of people have said because
So-
it seems like there's
There's
more
no
police present.
I had a police car go by my house.
Yeah.
Maybe because you live on 158.
Yeah, I've been getting that a lot too from people just this morning at the restaurant. You know, what's the name of all the police cars in town? I'm like, do you not want police cars in town? I'm not real sure how to answer that. Now, when school starts, of course, some of the SROs will go back in, back into school. So we were talking Friday about putting another ad out, you know, and trying to see if there's someone out there that's, you know, wasn't out there last time we did kind of a blitz for, you know, to try to get some more people, because we do have another position in the budget that we haven't filled. So it's just tough to do. Yeah, I'm trying to talk the school into doing some changes with the SROs that'll allow me to hire retired police officers to work at the school, which means they'll only work during the school. And then that frees up one of those full-time positions to get right back out.
When we get paid from the school, does that rate raise every year, or how does that work?
Well, it's whatever yeah, whatever our guys get paid, but two of them get paid differently than the third
Yeah.
one.
And that's driving me crazy.
Yeah, two of them get paid like the hours they work 40 hours a week at the school, and they get paid 40 hours a week at the school, or reimbursed from the school. Our third one, it was done years ago, and it was kind of set that way. Is it 70 or 75, Brian?
We recoup 75%
Of his
total package,
So-
because meetings, you're in school 9 months out of the year, 75%.
but it's of his total package. So that's his insurance, the money we pay for pension, all that
On
stuff.
the 40 hours, are they fully reimbursed like that benefits as well?
No,
It's just the pay.
yeah.
Because they,
It's almost the same.
because they were part-timers at the time, and now they're full-timers.
Shouldn't we change that?
Needs renegotiated, I think.
How do we, when's there a contract on that? Or how's that?
I've got
I think
the,
it's 25.
it's a continuous contact.
It renews.
It renews
Yeah,
annually.
it's renewal, but
But it can be.
It can be amended.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we should go to the school and.
well, and yeah, because like I said, I already spoke to him about, hey, can we change it? Because that opens up a lot of opportunities for me to hire a whole big chunk of people, because they, a lot of the retiree hires, they really just want to work to get the insurance. Sure. And if they work as a school employee, then they get the insurance, and they don't have to work in the summer. It's all these benefits for them.
That's a different scenario.
Well, I know, but that's, we did that before, so it's not new. But the superintendent, his first thought was, wait a minute, that's gonna cost me more money because I gotta pay. It's like, yes, but you might be able to drop the hourly wage to make up for some of that,
Well,
because
that's something we should
They
do.
just want the insurance. They
because
don't
they
care about
really
the
just
wage.
want the insurance, and they're
They
okay
want
with
the
sending it
minimum
to
wage,
school
they get the insurance.
somewhere.
Or somewhere.
Yes. So I think there's some room for us to talk. And like I say, he and I have talked a couple times kind of briefly, but he's, well, let me go think about it a little bit. And then, so I'll keep you posted if something happens. I don't think it's going to happen for this year, but.
And maybe one of the 25, we could work on something.
And we're still looking for a replacement car. As you heard, we did get the check cleared, according to Brian. So,
And I can tell you guys this, if he finds another one, he found a good one,
and sold them the day before I called. They said it sold yesterday.
and we would have been $5,000 and plus
Yeah.
on that if we could have got them, but they just sell that quick.
Going back to those, please, those are on a school district fiscal year basis,
Which one?
the school contracts, not on a calendar year basis. Just an
They
FYI.
wouldn't be paid by us.
No, you're not following me. The contracts we signed with the school for the SRO are based on a July 1 through June 30th fiscal year.
Yeah.
So
So we just started.
we just started a new fiscal year. So if you're gonna do any negotiation, it'll be by next July, you have to negotiate.
All right.
All right.
House taxes, chief.
Mobile joint fires.
The next scheduled meeting is 6 p.m. at Station 610 on.
All right, now we're going to village committees and commission. Planning and zoning is, we're having a meeting this Thursday. Let's talk about their, like you, after that meeting at the next council meeting. Tree commission, Steve is out of town, I believe, this week, isn't he? Yeah, because he and I are gonna meet next week just together to go over where we're at with all that stuff, so.
It's out next week, because that's our real meeting.
Is it next week?
Thursday.
Okay.
Well, I think they're gonna be discussing the proposals. That's one of,
Yes. The proposal, yes, that is right. Records Commission.
nothing. I got sent out an email.
And then we're to the Bicentennial Commission.
I did send around to everybody, if you don't have your computer with you. I ran into somebody at a party Saturday night, Melissa Pickens, and was telling her that I had heard that she did some graphic design, and by today she has done the logos that I just said.
They're awesome.
They are
We're
awesome.
looking at, yes.
So we don't have, you don't have to make any kind of decision about those tonight, but I just wanted you to look at them and see what you think.
That was nice.
But we will need to come up with something soon. But I feel really good about the.
Well, the designs look official. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Everybody should take a look at those. Anything else?
No, we are gonna start, we haven't been meeting, we're gonna start, I'm gonna start getting together with all my subcommittees right now while we work through the financial part of it. And then we can,
Get together.
make some decisions, final decisions, once we know what we have.
All right, well, we're going to go directly to motions. All right, we have a first reading of ordinance.
We have some motions. Yes, I'd like to make a
Sorry.
motion to go into executive session immediately following the reading of the
Sorry.
ordinances at the end.
I'll second it.
Do I need to say what that's regarding?
Yep.
Regarding land acquisition
And litigation.
and land
Litigation.
and litigation,
Possible,
potential
potential.
litigation.
And who's all in attendance?
Everybody here except for the visitors.
So that will be council plus, we also have, it's everybody here seated at the meeting, so which would include mayor, village administrator, fiscal officer, and solicitor, as well as council and chief.
Just want to make sure that just want to get that all down.
And the newly hired.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I mentioned our new village administrator, Mr. Neuhauser.
Any other motions?
Well, hold on, we need to vote on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or discussion.
The second was Darla Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Discussion.
Is there any discussion?
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
We have a roll call or vote.
Roll call. Okay, McCreary,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Any other motions?
The other request I made was for the council to consider a motion to approve the adoption of the county house numbering system for the Keller property that will hopefully eventually be annexed into it.
Sure, I will make the motion to approve the county numbering system for the potential development up north in the Keller property. Is that correct?
There's no planned development, it's just for the annexation.
For the annexation.
We're still months away.
I guess I still
For
wonder
the planning purpose.
at what point does it transition from being a county road, Lancaster Cookersville Road, to being Main Street? If the village continues to grow, do we really want Lancaster Cookersville Road in town? That seems odd.
Isn't that a separate subject?
Well, not really.
Well, it kind of is. I mean, the county's position is we're going to hold up the annexation unless the village agrees to the county numbering system. And we think the county's house numbering system for that new property, once it's developed, is going to be important for emergency services, 911, law enforcement calls, that sort of thing. So I'm still investigating the issue with regard to Rick's property and similar properties and why some of those have
Yeah, I guess
different numbers.
to me, it's almost like the problem just moves down the road. You know what I mean? It currently, for me, it's a problem where I am. Say we annex this and it becomes what is visibly a part of town or appears to be a part of town.
Why don't we?
But we move from Main Street to Lancaster Cookersville Road and we move from 1,000 to 9,000 in 100 yards. And so I guess so when they're saying that the numbering is more contiguous or more easy to follow, is it or isn't?
But can I say something on here? But it seems to me that it doesn't have anything to do with the street name, just the numbers. Because it doesn't matter what you call it, if the numbers, like you said, with your, like the house just beyond you is like, 700 number, whatever, and then you start as a 9,000, that it's just going to continue then 9,001, 9,002, 9,003, 9,004.
Right.
But in the village, I would think
Then
you
it's
could
still
call the
Main
street
Street?
whatever you want to call it. It's in the village.
Yeah.
That's where I see this, honestly, as it's the numbering system, not the road.
And I guess, but if you're in an emergency vehicle and you're going north on Main Street, Baltimore, Ohio, it's 900 to jump to 9,000. Is that easier to follow or is that harder to follow?
I don't think it matters, honestly, because of like we know, just like when we go.
We do, but people who aren't from here don't. As a person who's made deliveries my entire life, it's really odd when the numbers jump from 9,200 yards when you were trying to find 1,001 Main Street.
It does on the south side of town the opposite way though, too.
Yeah, exactly. I guess long term, it looks like a bigger problem than a lesser problem.
I think from my perspective, I'm hearing it's numbers, and if it makes more sense for emergency equipment to get back there, I think it makes sense to go with the county numbering system. And then that if your particular address is something that possibly could be amended, maybe that's something you could work through, but in talking about a new development, seems like
I guess
we're addressing
I'm trying to make it not about mine because the problem just moves, is what it is. It's been a problem for me for years, but then you just move the problem down the street a little ways because of the exact same situation.
Okay, so we have this huge land, and we're gonna name it, I don't know,
Whatever the streets are.
Like Mr. Cookersville. Well, when the developing comes in and we've annexed that in, can we change to the Baltimore numbering system? I mean, I can't imagine.
I guess that's what this is about, is why I'm
Yeah, I
questioning.
think
That's exactly what we're talking about. That's why I'm
presenting.
questioning.
And I'm just taking based on the recommendations and what they've said, and that specific numbering system makes more sense for emergency purposes, the county system.
Yeah, I don't think it does long term though, is what I'm saying. It does.
Well, the development of that land is
Out there.
way out there.
Yeah. This is just
Well,
the
or like
numbering.
here in town, all your numbering when you go east and west starts with Main Street.
Right.
So like when you start building roads that are going east and west from the new Main Street, are they gonna start at 100 or are they gonna start at
We're waiting.
wherever the county is in the township, which is in the thousands?
Well,
They start at Walnut Township, Liberty Township line is where the county starts now. Because like when you drive out Holder Road, I used to live at 10 Holder Road.
I agree.
And
And then
so-
all of a sudden it changes.
Right, because, packages used to go to Holder Road, clear up by Market Street because they were following the numbers. And then they get to the township line and the numbers start all over again on Holder Road in Mullen. So it's already confusing in town because we're using the township and the county numbering system. There isn't 210 Holder Roads, but if you're going out Holder Road, it starts counting at Market and you go out there and get to the township line and it starts over again in town. Which is confusing.
Well, I mean, if council wants to wait, then I can try to get more clarification on it.
I'd just like to understand why they think
Good
that's
question.
bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to do that. So, but I know that, for example, one of the properties that's adjacent to this parcel it's 11025 Lancaster Kirkersville Road. So if they continue with that numbering system, then it would be whatever, 11045 Lancaster Kirkersville Road. So that's my understanding, but I'll try to get more clarification on that.
So make a big deal out of something C6 trivial, but when you live with it.
So-
Not that trivial.
That was the only objection that the engineer's office had in reviewing all the documents, and what they said was, and I think, did I read this last time? If I did, I won't read it again, so. Okay.
So you made a motion, was it seconded?
No,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't second.
We're just gonna get some more information.
so it sounds like we're gonna wait.
Okay.
And it sounds like Mr. Jaco is going to
Get some more.
require some more information so we can better understand the implications of each system.
Are there any more motions? No, we're gonna go to ordinances and resolutions. Okay, first reading ordinance 24-21, ordinance to amend the 2021 appropriations ordinance Sponsor is Mr. Wade. And that was for the money for the sewer. EQ basis.
Oh, yeah. Bicentennial.
Bicentennial.
Right, so this, went through, initially, it was initiated by service, and then it passed to, finance, and it was sort of amended to add a little bit more for the bicentennial. But, I make a motion that we reading rule on that. For reasons of, service, the service department needs to take advantage of the weather to begin that project. And the building's paid for. And the building's paid for the bicentennial.
Yes. So we need to vote on that.
Well, I need a second first.
Foreman seconds that.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Chavanon.
Okay.
All right. Cosgrave makes a motion to adopt the ordinance, 2024.
We need a roll call on that.
Discussion.
Discussion. Now we need a roll call.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Second reading, resolution 24-18, resolution granting special use of the agreement to the Baltimore Festival Committee for use of various village facilities. The Baltimore Festival sponsors Mr. Foreman, but we were hoping to.
Yes. Foreman makes a motion to bypass the first reading. It passes by emergency for time constraints. Cosgrave second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Motion to pass. So we're going to the next.
No, gotta need to adopt it.
Foreman makes a motion to adopt.
Sorry.
Cosgrave second.
Discussion. And roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 24-19, resolution indicating what services the village will provide in the tract of 99.5 acres on annexation and the declaration of emergency. The sponsor on this is Mr. Foreman.
This is on for second reading, and due to a number of factors, I think we just let this one stay on for third reading.
Yep. Get a second on that?
No.
You don't need a second. Just moves on, okay. All right, sorry. We're moving on. Resolution 24-20, resolution pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code 28.06A to select Mayor Jason Henderson of Pleasantville to the County 911 Review Committee. Sponsor is Mr. Cosgray.
And this can stay on for third reading.
Yes. Any discussion?
No, there's no discussion.
No discussion?
Oh, no.
All right, so now we're going to third reading of ordinance 24-13, ordinance authorizing the village and mayor and fiscal officer to contract with Ford Motor Company LLC for the financing of the purchase of two new 2025 police interceptor vehicles for the police department and the declaration of emergency.
And this came, I think it started in finance. But it is the third reading, so I would make a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-13. Foreman second.
Any discussion? Now we'll go to a roll call.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Passed. Yep. So ordinance 24-15 and ordinance amending part 4, title 6 of the Baltimore codified ordinances, traffic code operations and vehicles to authorize the operations of low speed vehicles, under speed vehicles, utility vehicles, and mini trucks on village streets and highways. Sponsor this is Mr. Foreman.
Or makes a motion to adopt.
Seconds.
Any discussion on this?
Is there? Do I recall that there was gonna be a,
We tried to pass this by emergency, but we didn't have votes. We discussed amending or changing the ordinance, but we have not at this point. It is as originally presented. It does include golf carts as presented.
and it includes everything?
UTVs, they can be on any street.
Right, they just have to be
They just have to meet all of the
requirements
requirements.
and inspected by the agency.
They can be on Main Street? Yes.
And market?
Yes.
That's how this reads.
Yes.
I think that was because
It's
It's
difficult to get
difficult,
to
yeah.
many places if you don't allow, you can't.
so it's either all or nothing.
Any other discussion?
Can I get a second on that?
Yeah, McCurry seconded.
Okay, yeah. So we go from here.
Well, if there's no more discussion,
It's discussion for roll call.
Okay. Foreman,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgray,
yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Phillips,
No.
Schaffner.
No.
Passes.
Ordinance passed. Okay, ordinance 2416, an ordinance to amend the 2024 appropriations ordinance. Mr. Cosgrave.
Only that had to do with money for the trees.
Tree grant, yes.
Grant. So I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2024-16.
Seconds.
Roll call.
Nope. Discussion.
Discussion, I'm sorry.
We're gonna have a card.
You have a discussion?
Okay.
Roll call.
Cosgray,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Reedy,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Moving on, we have any table ordinances, there's none. Anybody have any old business they'd like to discuss?
I don't know if this is old or new. Did we set the, stuff out for the east side drainage for people on the other side? The letter down.
I haven't got any.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think the easements have been received.
This is kind of still one business, I think, and it came out of service. So what Mr. Kenny was giving us feedback on, from what I remember, was kind of phase one of that drainage.
Right,
project.
right.
And there were three choices presented by B3,
Right.
and
What we're discussing now, though, is phase two of phase one.
Correct.
Right, fixing what's already there or adding to it.
And this is
So
the
we're trying to
people
secure
like
new
from me
easements.
to the right,
Yeah.
from me toward town, which would include
Okay.
Because it would.
Yeah, because
that.
next to my neighbor, there's a drain and it's just,
grasses run over.
it's just plugged. It
So
needs, it
We
needs.
haven't moved on to phase two of what B3 suggested yet.
can anybody refresh my memory? Was there any inclination? Phase 3 was like $1 million development.
Yeah.
thing. It was kind of like, right. Phase 2 is a little bit more doable for us.
Yeah, well, and Tim can do that repair. I mean, we are.
He's talking about, there was,
There's another project.
on our side of the holder is still phase one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. He's talking about there was something in between phase one and phase three or something.
It had to do with 256, I think.
Yeah, it was like a
You had it with on you,
$1,000
didn't
fixture.
And then,
You had did you have a copy on you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But,
But it wasn't about 256. It was. Phase one was the one you guys decided to do. Phase three was the $900 million.
why don't we?
And then phase two was something else. That
2 weeks and re-examine.
Yeah, put that on services agenda for us.
Or
Okay.
revisit the proposal from V3 to look at whether we want to proceed with say phase two.
If we can, or at least put it, so we can kick it to finance.
Or start looking for money
budget
for it.
Right.
Next fiscal year.
Well, I'll kick it back. I'll
Put back on service.
put it back on service.
Okay.
But we still are.
No, I've got.
sending out
No. Oh, you can.
Phase one, yeah, that's still happening.
Yes.
Or you can send it to me.
she can send a picture to me or text.
Okay, well, send it to my email. You do that? So, okay, so the discussion was really asking about easements. No, I have not.
So
So,
V3 needs to send those out.
V3 needs to send those out? Okay.
Well, they need to create them,
They need to
send
create
them
them
to
and
us, and then I send them.
Okay, that's what I was trying to
And
figure out.
last time it was as though V3 didn't get the memo, so I'm wondering if that's the case again.
Okay, don't worry, I will send Mr. Crane an email tomorrow.
There you go.
It's your backyard.
It's my backyard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's your.
Keep poking them.
So is there any new business? Any visitors? Mr. Kenny, is your part all clear?
I just, what Jeff was gonna be looking at. When you guys moved from Corporation Limit out 256, the township line. On this side used to be Baltimore, Somerset Road Northwest. It is now Market Street.
Your address is Market Street?
No, I'm Baltimore Northeast, but like.
But the same thing exists out there.
Jeff, I don't know his last name, it's not King, is it?
No.
That lived at the old junkyard.
Yeah, it is
I
King.
don't,
King.
it is, okay.
He's out of town.
No.
He's in there.
He's in now?
But here's the deal. Prior to that going on, he was 145 Baltimore Somerset Road Northwest. I'm 145 Northeast. It was screwed up.
Yeah.
Packages and everything. Missy lived there.
Yeah.
So when they moved that corporation limit out, it's now Market Street. I don't know who did that.
Kex is one.
But he's at the township line.
Kex used to be 5.
Oh, okay.
Treaty Tech was 5, but I don't know.
But
I
that's
don't know
because
if
the
it's
township
Baltimore
line's in
Racing
his
Market
front
Street
yard.
now too. What's that?
That's because the
Very
township
good.
line's in his front yard. Where if it becomes Baltimore Montgomery, it starts back from Main Street and it's contiguous all the way out and doesn't change until you get out of town.
When it came into Weeks, it's Baltimore
Instead
Somerset
of
North.
jumping at the township line, which once it's in town becomes irrelevant, is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
You know, that township line is gonna start your numbers over at Market Street.
I know.
You're gonna be counting up from Main Street, and then you're gonna start over at the township line, which is no longer relevant, but the numbers start.
But how those guys became Market Street, I don't.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
post office, I have no idea who did.
Does it numbers change or just the name?
Everything changed because they couldn't be 145 Market Street, East Market, because that would be right over here. So, I don't know what their address is.
All right.
We're coming back, aren't you, Matt?
Oh, for sure.
It's like this.
He just mumbled, "Watch this."
Oh, no.
I don't know what that meant.
Next call.
We got a second first.
Yeah, we go to executive session first, then come out.
Yes.
Do I take a quick 2-minute break so I can get things shut down?
Yes.
We're not gonna be here for Thursday.
At 7:50, is that 57 or 7:58?
So it's actually, that clock's slow. 7:58.
At 7:58, we are going into executive session.
We may have a neighbor read it.
You guys didn't know.
Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back live. Foreman, 3 seconds.
All there?
All right, good night, everybody. Brian, I'll drop off those other ordinances.
Yeah.
Oh, it's